A strange mummy accidentally discovered on a glacier peak that made scientists scream in fear. Imagine, one day you are climbing Pico de Orizaba, the highest peak in Mexico, standing at an elevation of about 18,406 feet above sea level. A mountain that is both stunningly beautiful and incredibly challenging. What would you think of? Fatigue, or perhaps a picturesque scene? Pico de Orizaba, also known as Orizaba Peak, is located about a 5-hour drive from Mexico City. Recently, researchers discovered a mummy in excellent condition on a glacier at the summit of the mountain. The most unusual thing about it is that the victim was not wearing specialized mountaineering gear, but instead ordinary clothes, like the kind we wear every day. This immediately raised a question. Could this person have actually been climbing the mountain, or was there something else behind their death? The mummy was found about 1,000 feet from the peak, and what is remarkable is that despite being exposed to the harsh conditions of the ice-covered mountain for so long, the mummy has been remarkably well preserved. As soon as the news was released, a wave of speculation began in both the scientific community and the public. At first, many people connected this body to 3 explorers who went missing over 55 years ago while attempting to summit Pico de Orizaba. 2 of these explorers had been found earlier, so perhaps this was the final person in that story. But is that accurate? The theories started to be challenged. The location of the new mummy discovery and the 2 previous mummies were entirely different, and more importantly, the clothing worn by this individual was not similar to that of the mountaineering explorers. This led scientists to ask, if this was not one of the missing explorers, then who was this person? After considering the factors, another theory was proposed, one that seemed more plausible. It is likely that this person was a victim of a plane crash that occurred in 1990 right on Pico de Orizaba. If this theory is correct, the story of this mummy would become even more mysterious and full of surprises. However, we still cannot say for sure. So, what do you think? Could this mummy be a victim of the plane crash, or is it part of another mysterious story that we don't yet fully understand? As for me, no matter what the truth about this mummy is, it remains a discovery that gives me chills. 3-million-year-old child's remains. In 2000, a team of archaeologists led by Zaresene in Ethiopia made an incredibly important discovery. They found the remains of a 3-year-old girl named Dakika. She lived and died during the early stages of human evolution, approximately 3 million years ago. What makes this discovery so special is that the girl's skeleton was not only nearly complete, but also contained many crucial clues about the origin and evolution of humans. Dakika's skeleton, although still very young, displayed several key features. The mummy had a complete set of baby teeth and characteristics such as a long face, flat nose, and curved finger bones, similar to those of ape species. This suggests that Dakika might have been able to climb as easily as a monkey, despite having the ability to walk on 2 legs. Additionally, small bone fragments in her throat opened up important hypotheses about the development of speech in humans. These are critical factors in studies of brain evolution and human communication capabilities. The area where Dakika was discovered is also quite significant. Located in a dry and challenging environment with many natural and wildlife obstacles, the area was once a low-lying swamp. However, the thick layers of gravel and sand surrounding the site helped preserve her body perfectly for thousands of years. Archaeologists spent 5 years excavating and studying the skeleton, carefully using acid to drill through each layer of stone. What makes this discovery even more remarkable is the study of the girl's brain, with a volume of approximately 20 cubic inches, similar to that of a 3-year-old chimpanzee. This further supports the hypothesis of slow brain development in early humans and the heavy dependence of children on their parents during the early stages of life. Although Dakika's life was very short, the evolutionary advancements she represents are of great significance. This discovery opens a door to exploring the physiological and psychological traits of our human ancestors while providing valuable clues about our evolution over millions of years. The 2,000-year-old couple mummies. Recently, archaeologists made a remarkable discovery at the ancient city of Taposiris Magna, located on the Nile Delta in Egypt. 2 mummies of a male and female couple, dating back 2,000 years, were unearthed, and what astounded experts was the method of embalming and the valuable burial goods they carried with them. This couple was carefully embalmed and covered in gold leaf, an extremely lavish burial ritual, indicating that they must have been extremely powerful figures in ancient Egyptian society. However, despite the sophisticated embalming method, their tomb was not sealed properly, resulting in the mummies being exposed to water multiple times over the 2,000 years. As a result, even though traces of a meticulous embalming process remain, neither mummy is as intact as the ancient Egyptians would have hoped. Nevertheless, archaeologists still found many valuable burial items, particularly 200 coins featuring the image of Cleopatra, clear evidence of the era and culture they belonged to. Another interesting detail is that on one of the mummies, the gold leaf covering retained an image of a scarab beetle, a famous symbol of rebirth in Egyptian culture. This suggests that the couple may have been high-ranking religious figures, acting as intermediaries between the mortal world and the gods. These theories are supported by the lavish nature of the burial and the religious symbols found on their burial goods, suggesting that this couple likely belonged to the upper class or had strong ties to religious rituals in ancient Egypt. You may not believe it, but for archaeologists, this discovery not only sheds light on the mysteries of ancient Egyptian life and beliefs, but also serves as a clear testament to the development of this civilization thousands of years ago. Innovative Egyptian mummies. Recently, scientists discovered a large tomb in Aswan containing 20 unusual Egyptian mummies. But these individuals were not ancient Egyptians. They were forgotten beings for many centuries. The story of this tomb begins with a Greek-Roman tomb, long plundered by ancient tomb robbers. This tomb, designated AGH-032, has a unique structure. Part of it is above ground, built with sandstone and mud brick, while the lower part is carved directly into the rock. Archaeologists have previously found over 300 tombs dating from the 6th century BCE to the 4th century CE in this area, and the newly discovered tomb dates to a similar period. However, the mummies in this tomb differ from those of the ancient Egyptian elite. The bodies were embalmed using the traditional Egyptian method, but in a much simpler and more rudimentary manner. Their coffins were mainly made from clay and sandstone, while the masks on the coffins were made from ancient cardboard-like materials, applied with layers of fibers or papyrus. Notably, the tomb also contained many fascinating artifacts, including animal bones, pottery shards, and offerings such as ritual tables and plates. A copper necklace inscribed with Greek letters and several stone slabs with hieroglyphics, surprisingly overlooked by tomb robbers, became crucial clues for researchers. These discoveries demonstrate the cultural crossover between the Greeks, Romans, and Egyptians. The history of the Greeks in Egypt began in the 7th century BCE, peaking in the 4th century BCE when Alexander the Great conquered Egypt and founded Alexandria. Egypt was subsequently ruled by the Roman Empire from 30 BCE, creating a complex and distinctive Greco-Roman culture in the region. The findings from tomb AGH-032 serve as a vivid testament to the blending of these cultures and the lasting traces of this glorious period. The mysterious alien mummy. In 1996, a mysterious event shook the scientific community and fans of paranormal phenomena. In the town of Kishtim, in the Chelyabinsk region of Russia, police discovered a small, oddly shaped mummy. Due to its tiny size and features that were unlike any known animal or human species, the mummy quickly became known as the Kishtim alien. This discovery caused a stir in the scientific community as local medical experts conducted an examination and concluded that the mummy did not belong to any Earth-originating creature. The skull structure of the strange being astonished doctors. The skull only had 6 bones instead of the usual structures, with 4 of those bones being characteristics that couldn't be explained by congenital deformities. Its shape was vastly different from that of a human, with a large misshapen head and eyes that took up most of the face. According to researchers, when it was alive, the Kishtim alien may have looked completely different from any Earth creature. The mystery deepened as researchers could not determine the origin of this being. One key figure in the investigation was Vadim Chernobrov, a UFO researcher who flew from Moscow to examine the mummy. Chernobrov believed this was a groundbreaking discovery, but all attempts to verify it were inconclusive, as the mummy mysteriously disappeared, leaving no trace behind. The situation became even more eerie with a series of strange accidents and the deaths of researchers. Shortly after coming into contact with the mummy, researcher Tamara Prosverina was involved in a car accident and passed away. Chernobrov, during his investigation, suddenly became paralyzed from the waist down and died shortly thereafter. Another scholar, Mark Milkhiker, suddenly died of a heart attack after investigating the body and returning to Moscow. These events led many to believe that the Kishtim alien mummy carried a terrible curse. The disappearance of the mummy and the strange deaths have only made the story of the Kishtim alien more mysterious than ever, raising unresolved questions about extraterrestrial beings and supernatural phenomena that may exist right under our noses. Mysterious frozen mummies. Researchers recently announced that they have discovered a collection of mysterious mummies from an Inuit family dating back 500 years that have been preserved almost intact. This is one of the most impressive archaeological discoveries in North America, as these mummies were not only preserved under special conditions, but also carry an intriguing story about the culture and customs of the Inuit people. This family, consisting of 8 individuals, passed away around 1475 in Greenland, including a 6-month-old baby, an older child, and 6 adult women. What's miraculous is that, despite the passing of centuries, these mummies still retain many details such as skin, nails, and hair, which greatly impressed scientists. Experts believe that the harsh and unique climate of the region played a crucial role in preserving these bodies. The extreme cold and dryness of this land helped the mummies survive almost perfectly over the centuries. However, one interesting and controversial detail is that the 6-month-old baby might have been buried alive. According to research, this was a traditional practice of the Inuit. When a mother died, her child would also be buried with her to ensure that both would live together in the afterlife. The graves containing these mummies were discovered in Kilakitsok, an Inuit settlement in Greenland, in 1972, and to this day, they remain one of the greatest mysteries in archaeology. Researchers are still continuing to study these mummies, hoping to unravel more secrets surrounding the life and death of this Inuit hunter family. 2,100-year-old Hawk Boy Mummy. In 1925, a local doctor brought a 2,100-year-old mummy of a boy to the Maidstone Museum in England, believed to belong to a hawk. This did not raise much surprise, as the outer wrappings were commonly used by the Egyptians to preserve mummies of animals like hawks, which were sacred creatures offered to the gods. For many years, the mummy was displayed to visitors and was still identified as that of a hawk, until a special study revealed the truth. In the 1990s, zoologist Andrew Nelson and colleagues at Western Ontario University conducted a thorough study of the mummy using CT scan technology. The results shocked everyone. The mummy, which had long been believed to be that of a hawk, was actually that of a young boy, estimated to be 23 to 28 weeks old. This was an extremely rare case, as the boy's brain and skull could not develop properly, with the entire head being incomplete and the vertebrae not yet fused, a sign of anencephaly, a birth defect that prevents the brain from developing at birth. Researchers speculate that, although the boy died before he could fully develop, his body was carefully embalmed with special respect for a life that never fully began. The outer wrapping of the mummy features an image of Osiris, the Egyptian god who rules the afterlife, along with depictions of the goddesses Iris and Nephthys standing beside him, all symbolizing a deep burial ritual. Notably, a 3-bird figure with a human-like head, flying above Osiris, is painted on the wrapping, with the Ujjat eye above, a symbol of protection and health. This discovery not only solves a long-standing mystery, but also offers a new perspective on the rituals and beliefs of ancient Egyptians, showing that even small beings like this boy were prepared for life after death with utmost reverence and care. The remains of powerful women from ancient Spanish civilization. Dr. Brenna Hassett, a biological anthropologist, has shared about her fascinating yet often eerie work. Her job primarily revolves around excavating remains from the past, studying the lives and deaths of those long gone. While this may seem strange to some, for Hassett, it provides an opportunity to uncover untold stories about our ancestors. Recently, he was particularly excited about a remarkable discovery published in the journal Antiquity. It involved a 3,700-year-old tomb found in Spain, containing the remains of a male and a female, along with valuable personal items. What caught the attention of archaeologists, however, was the female's remains in the tomb. She was buried with bracelets, a necklace, and an intricately crafted silver crown. These objects were not only valuable in terms of artistry, but also provided crucial clues about the deceased's social status. The discovery of such precious items in a woman's tomb challenged long-held assumptions that power in ancient societies was always male-dominated. Hassett believes that the woman in the tomb may not only have been an important family member, but could also have held a high position in society, potentially even wielding political power. This discovery came as a shock to previous understandings of ancient societies, where the role of women was often overlooked or undervalued. The valuable artifacts buried with this woman suggest that in some civilizations, women were not only important, but could also possess power equal to or surpassing that of men. This is one of the most striking examples of how history can sometimes surprise us with stories we never expected. The oldest mummy of Tashwinot. The Tashwinot mummy, discovered in a small cave in Wan Muhugiag, located in the Akakas mountain range of Fezzan, Libya, in 1958, is one of the most astounding archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. What makes this mummy particularly special is that it is not related to the ancient Egyptian civilization, as many often associate ancient mummies with Egypt. This mummy is that of a child, dating back over 5,000 years, discovered by Professor Fabrizio Mori, and is now on display at the Asaraya al-Hamra Museum in Tripoli. The child's death occurred around 3000 BCE, making the Tashwinot mummy one of the oldest mummies in the world. Notably, the child's internal organs were removed before being buried in the desert, a method of dissection and body preservation that ancient desert dwellers employed. Primitive preservatives were injected into the child's body, helping to maintain the remains as best as possible at the time. Carbon dating has shown that despite being thousands of years old, the mummy remains in relatively good condition, demonstrating that ancient people had incredibly unique and effective body preservation techniques. Interestingly, the Tashwinot mummy predates even the oldest ancient Egyptian mummies, which we are most familiar with. The discovery of this mummy has opened a new chapter in studying ancient cultures in North Africa, confirming that desert dwellers possessed techniques and knowledge far beyond what we typically associate with ancient civilizations. The Tashwinot mummy is not only a valuable archaeological artifact, but perhaps also serves as evidence of the development of ancient cultures in the Sahara Desert, a place mysterious, unique, and full of secrets. 700-year-old Chinese beauty mummy. In 2011, during the expansion of a road in Taizhou City, Jiangsu Province, China, a group of workers unexpectedly discovered an ancient coffin about 6.5 feet underground. Upon this discovery, they immediately contacted experts from the Taizhou Museum to continue the investigation. Upon closer inspection, archaeologists confirmed that this was an ancient coffin, but what they found inside was even more astonishing than expected. The coffin contained a carefully preserved mummy, wrapped in several layers of cloth and fine silk. Surrounding the coffin was a layer of brown liquid. As the silk layers were removed, experts discovered the body of a woman, almost perfectly preserved, still wearing jewelry. What was particularly remarkable was that her eyebrows and eyelashes had not fallen out. The mummy is estimated to be around 4.9 feet tall and was named the Taizhou mummy, also referred to as the Chinese beauty mummy in local newspapers. Based on artifacts and jewelry found with her, experts believe this woman lived during the Ming Dynasty, from 1368 to 1644, making the mummy approximately 700 years old. Notably, among the jewelry was a distinctive green ring, indicating that she was likely part of the aristocracy of that time. The excellent preservation of this mummy has helped archaeologists learn a great deal about the society and hierarchy of the Ming Dynasty. However, the mysterious brown liquid surrounding the body remains an unsolved mystery. Some experts believe it could be a natural preservation method due to the unique burial environment, which halted the decay process due to a lack of oxygen and bacteria. With many questions still unanswered about the woman's identity, social status, and cause of death, Chinese archaeologists continue to investigate. The discovery of the Taizhou mummy has sparked curiosity and interest in ancient embalming techniques, opening the door to uncovering previously unknown mysteries about China's past. Egyptian mummy in Roman clothing. In April 2010, an archaeological discovery was made at the Bahariya Oasis tombs, located southwest of Cairo, Egypt. A 2,000-year-old mummy of a young girl was unearthed in relatively well-preserved condition, despite the tomb and surrounding artifacts being heavily damaged by sand and humidity over the centuries. The mummy, estimated to be about 38 inches tall, was placed in an intricately carved coffin, sparking much speculation among scientists and researchers about the identity and significance of the discovery. The young girl's mummy was dressed in an elaborate robe, with her head wrapped in cloth and accessorized with small items such as shoes, bracelets, and a beaded necklace. However, what most astonished and puzzled people was that the girl's eyes remained wide open, as though she were fully alert and staring straight ahead, creating a mysterious and haunting impression. Experts have speculated that these wide-open eyes might have been part of a special ritual or a unique embalming method used by ancient Egyptians to preserve life for the soul. Scientists have estimated that the girl passed away between 39 BCE and 395 CE. However, her identity and her social status in ancient Egyptian society remain a mystery. Was she a princess or a member of the nobility? Or was she an ordinary citizen with a remarkable death, commemorated through a special ritual? While these questions remain unanswered, this discovery highlights the wonder and mystery of ancient Egyptian civilization. With her identity still unclear, the secrets surrounding her death and embalming process remain a topic of debate and one of the unsolved mysteries in the history of Egyptian archaeology. As you can see, the flow of history is filled with so many mysteries that humanity may never fully uncover. Some secrets have remained mysteries for thousands of years, while others have been revealed but remain unclear. The discoveries mentioned above are just a tiny part of our vast world, with many exciting things still waiting to be discovered. So if you enjoy this topic, don't miss out on fascinating information through the videos we've compiled. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. For now, goodbye and see you next time.